Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Igloo Cinema. And this episode, we're gonna be reviewing Godzilla, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, and Bryan Cranston, and that Asian guy from Inception. So yeah. So like I said earlier, we're gonna be doing a review of Godzilla, and like every review, we're gonna be taking turns talking about what we liked and what we didn't like, and then we're gonna give a score, and that's gonna be a review. So yeah, Steven, why don't you start off first?
Cool. Okay. So I thought this was it was a timely reboot, I think. It's been a long time since there was a Godzilla movie, and this is the first one I've seen in theaters, obviously, because I want to say the last one was in the 2000s, but I can't remember, so I'm not gonna make myself sound like an idiot. But yeah, I thought to start off, the special effects were very good in this movie. Like the special effects on the monsters, on Godzilla himself. I thought um, I thought the actors did a really good job the with the script that they were given. I I think Bryan Cranston, although a minor character, really stole the show of the entire movie because he kind of, I don't know, he's a very versatile actor in the sense that he can he can change his, I don't know, he can go from being very terrified and scared to being a loving father in like a span of about 2 seconds, and it's kind of amazing to watch. And I, yeah, that's kind of where what I like about it kind of ends because I don't know, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I like him. I like him. Like in
Hmm.
Kick-Ass, he was really good. I liked him as the character as Dave Lazuski. But in this, I don't know. He seemed to have the same facial expression for
Yeah,
every
like
for every scenario. It's like, oh no, there's Godzilla. Let me just stare intensely at him for about 2 seconds,
yeah.
and then oh no, my wife's been in danger. Let me stare at the camera for another 2 seconds intensely. I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
I just sort of guessed that I wanted more from him because I know he can do it.
Mhm.
I know um, Aaron capable of this, and I thought I thought the film was, in general, it was paced really well, but I felt like there wasn't enough Godzilla.
Yeah,
That's my
I can see
problem with it.
that.
Like it was advertised as, oh no, we're bringing back Godzilla into the newer generation to reintroduce it to this new audience, but he's barely in the movie until the end, where there's that huge fight, and I feel like that if they used him more, it would have, I don't know, made it more exciting, I guess. I don't
Mm.
know. I keep subconsciously comparing it to Pacific Rim. Maybe that's why, because that movie capitalized on the fact that there's giant monsters and giant robots.
And I guess you could say I guess you say Pacific Rim had more fun with it. I feel
Yeah,
like
it was
Godzilla was a bit more serious.
Pacific Rim, where this one was being very serious about it and trying to ground it in reality in a sense.
And I guess you're trying to say that you prefer the Pacific Rim route more so than the Godzilla route.
Because I guess when you're dealing with giant monsters and stuff, it's hard to take a serious route with
Yeah,
it
Mm.
without seeming like you're being a bit pretentious about it. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
I can see where you're going with that. Oh, my turn. Oh, all right. So, overall, I thought this was a pretty fun movie to watch. I think the actors overall did pretty. They're all right. Except I had the same problem. Aaron's like face in like every shot is like the same thing, and like at first you don't really notice it, but by the end I you realize it. Um, Other things I like would be, yeah, the monsters actually look really terrifying. Like when you first see them, it's like this. I think it's really grand how they introduce it, and when you see it, you're just like, whoa! Like you realize, dang, Godzilla is back. Um, yeah, I think. Oh, there's this one sound effect that they played every time Godzilla came on screen, and I don't know, it was just I just really like that sound effect. It's in the trailers too, and I just really like it. The stuff I didn't like was probably like, yeah, they didn't, I don't think they used Godzilla as much. They showed the other monsters more, and I wish they showed more Godzilla because in the trailers it makes it seem as if Godzilla was the main guy, but he's not really in the film. Like he is, but not until like the end part. And every time there's like this big fight scene between Godzilla and the monster, they would cut it short, and like they would go back to like the story or the plot, and you're just like disappointed because I think it's kind of awkwardly cut because you think, oh yes, there's a monster fight coming, and then like, nope, never mind, back to the story. And I feel like they should have just like either go with the story at one point or just go with the fight because I feel like it's kind of awkward. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I wish they used like better-ish music because I don't really remember any of the music from the film.
Okay, so personally, I actually really like this movie, like more so than what you two seem to be feeling about the movie. I don't know. I feel like, okay, let me just talk about what I liked first. I totally agree with all of you guys. I feel like Bryan Cranston was a great actor, even though he was barely in the movie at all. Well, okay, not at all, but you know, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Special effects were definitely really great. I mean, if you compare to the old Godzillas, you know, this one definitely has, you know, a more advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is the real deal. And I feel like, you know, Elizabeth Olsen was a great actress as well. Like all around, most of the actors were really good. And I don't know, but I actually think I prefer this movie better than Pacific Rim because I like the fact that they made it more realistic and gritty. Like I feel like taking it too seriously was a good route for this kind of movie because like I don't know, it just seemed like it really gave the whole like terror feeling. Like throughout the whole movie, I just had this sinking, like creeping, scared feeling, like as if, oh shit, what if this actually happened in our world? Like that's gonna be really fucked up, right?
It's more like a natural disaster more than a monster.
Yeah.
Exactly, and you get to see how like, the government deals with it and all the terror, and it was just such a scary kind of feeling inside when I was watching it. And I mean, Pacific Rim, I felt the same when they're explaining the Kajus, but then the moment where the robots came in and they started fighting, it became a whole different movie, and it became more like, oh, a fun monster movie. But this one, it felt like a dark, scary, more realistic kind of monster movie, and I actually really like that a lot more. I do agree that there is a lack of Godzilla, but I actually like the fact that like they didn't show Godzilla until like the you know the end half of the movie because it was sort of like building up the character, like not the character, but like the monster. So like when they do reveal them, it's like this, you know, crazy ass thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of liked how they, you know, were beating around the bush like that. You know, and I would have loved for more Godzilla and monster fight, but I do feel like I'm glad that like the whole movie wasn't just like two monsters fighting in the city, because like I feel like that would have made it.
That's exactly what I meant when I said that. It's just that I don't know. Some of the story elements with the human characters kind of got boring at parts.
Yeah.
I was like, can we just get back to the monsters for like about 2 more minutes before we come back to this?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. I do agree, because like there are points where we're like, oh my god, these guys are gonna fight, and then all of a sudden they cut to like fucking, you know, people talking and shit.
I mean,
But no,
I understand.
personally,
We need to explain the nuclear submarine and all this stuff, and like we need to explain where this came from. But like, there's monsters fighting over there.
yeah, that's true. It's just like, because like you see Aaron Taylor Johnson like trying to like, you know, do this thing while like a gigantic monster is like right there fighting and shit. But like, I don't know, I feel like it adds to the more realistic feel. Like it's more like, oh, the humans are doing this while the monsters are doing that. And I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like, oh, this is how gigantic monsters would fight. Like it wouldn't be like a epic grand battle. It would just be like, you know, a few minutes of brawling and then going somewhere, and then like, I don't know, it just felt more realistic to me.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. But I do agree with you guys with the fact that they do cut a lot of the fighting out, which, you know, the movie's called Godzilla, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah.
But okay, the stuff that I didn't like was, I agree, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I did feel like his acting was a bit off. Like, like you said, in Kick-Ass, he was okay because it was more of a humorous parody kind of movie. But in this one, it's like such a serious, dark movie that I just don't think Aaron can he
I don't
just
know.
can't lead it.
It's not that he can't do it. I mean, in certain scenes, you saw like he was capable of it.
Yeah.
But in other scenes, it was kind of off.
Yeah.
So I can't say it was a consistent performance.
Yeah, he definitely had his moments, but yeah, overall, like it wasn't that consistent, and it was kind of off-putting. And I also felt like, yeah, there was a lot of reaction shots and just people like them looking like this, and then like you see like a ocean thing, and then nothing's happening, and then they're like, and then it's like, yeah, so like that part was a bit distracting. I do feel like at some points in the movie it was kind of boring. Like they do drag it on for quite a while before, show us a fucking monster already. I mean, Jesus, dude.
And like Ken Watanabe, who played Saito in Inception, I don't know. I felt like he was he was there. He just so happened to be a philosopher. like they would talk to him, and he had this insightful thought about this and this, and like
and he was the one who was like the most reaction shots because he's just like, oh my god, Godzilla, holy shit, this is awesome and shit. Like it got a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I didn't like. Overall, I think I have more stuff that I like than I didn't like. I mean, I actually did care for the family, like Aaron and Elizabeth Olsen's characters. Family.
You know what the problem was? I think I would have cared more if I didn't have this sinking, if I didn't have this feeling in the back of my head that I knew they're all gonna make it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't think any of them were actually gonna die.
Yeah, like that scene where Elizabeth Olsen was talking on the phone with him, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so scared." Like in my mind, I was like, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna live for sure."
Yeah.
The only time
You're too pretty to die.
Yeah.
The only time I was kind of semi-worried was when Ford was on the boat, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna die," but he does.
Yeah. There was at one point a moment where I wasn't sure, but it's a bit obvious. I feel like.
And can we just give an award to the bus driver? The most badass.
Oh yeah, that was really badass.
Just drives through a military brigade.
I know, it's freaking crazy. But okay, there is lack of action, but when there is some action,
Yeah, it's good.
It's fucking badass. Like you need to see that the final attack thing from Godzilla, fucking crazy.
That
and
scene I could just watch forever.
Yeah, and I do, because from the trailer it seemed like humans versus Godzilla, and then it seemed like it was Godzilla versus monster, but it still felt like Godzilla was the bad guy, even though he was fighting another monster. But in the movie, it's actually Godzilla is the one that's saving the people, and I feel like that's a welcome change to the whole Godzilla thing. Because I actually do usually Godzilla's the one, or the monster's the one like, oh my god, he's destroying the city, fuck. But this time around, it's, Godzilla's purposely not destroying ships, he's swimming around them, and he's protecting the people. And I thought that was really interesting, because normally you would think after Godzilla fight the monster, Godzilla's going to destroy the city, but he's actually very careful with that stuff. And, it was a interesting, unique perspective on Godzilla that I personally never seen before, because I'm not, that into Godzilla to, know about that stuff.
I thought it was kind of interesting as an extended metaphor for Godzilla being, I don't want to make it obvious, but Godzilla as a god trying to restore balance to the world, as they explain in the film, how,
Exactly, yeah.
And these monsters could be seen as symbols for like humanity being evil in a sense, and Godzilla's just the guy trying to make everything better.
Yeah, and I really liked the design of Godzilla. I thought he looked very menacing and very cool, and I feel like the other monsters look kind of weird, but you know.
All right, but
I mean, Pacific Rim. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to Pacific Rim, but like, all the kaiju in those all look very interesting in the fact that they were, and they're very intricately designed. The Motu in these films, in this film, I mean, I don't know, they seem kind of sleek and boring. I don't know. I mean, yeah, one of them flies, but that's about it.
But I like how they put two enemies versus one Godzilla. That's totally unfair, clearly, but it kind of I like how they kind of like challenged his character in this movie.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I do agree that the movie is a bit too dark. Like it's kind of having like a Transformers syndrome here a little bit, where you're not entirely sure who's fighting. And like, yeah, I agree. Pacific Rim, you know, the monsters did look more unique. Like you could tell between them. And Godzilla, like his color scheme was really dark, and the monsters were really dark, and
it was all shot at night for some reason.
yeah, with fucking clouds and shit, and like the debris is all black and just. Yeah, I mean, geez, like, but overall, I still felt like the special effects were really well done. But that's it for our review of Godzilla. Now let's give our ratings. So, Steven, you want to start first?
Okay, I think I am going to give this one a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
That was a solid movie.
I'm actually going to give the same score as Steven, 8 out of 10. I thought it was an overall very good movie. It was very enjoyable. 8 out of 10.
Okay, and I don't mean to be like a copycat or anything, but I am also going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really good movie, great effects, most of the time great acting. The story was very interesting. You know, it was just held back by a few small minor quibbles, like maybe like the pacing was a bit off sometimes, and the editing maybe, and the color scheme of the monsters, and you know the whole like color scheme of the movie was a bit too dark and really hard to see sometimes. But overall, you know, still great movie. So 8 out of 10. And yeah, so the average score for Godzilla in this review is an 8 out of 10. Great movie. Really recommend you to watch it, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy some part of the movie. You know, maybe you might be a bit disappointed at the fact that there isn't as much fighting as you might expect.
Yeah.
But it's a welcome entry to the whole Godzilla franchise. I feel like it has its place. It has its place. So that's it for our review of Godzilla. If you guys watched the movie, please give your comment down below. What do you think? Do you like it? Dislike it? Why not? If you're a Godzilla fan, how was it? Was it what your expectations were, or were you completely disappointed? And if you're not a Godzilla fan, did you enjoy yourself? Tell us in the comments down below. Also, do you like Pacific Rim better, or do you like Godzilla better? Because that's a good debate. So yeah, comments down below. And as always, also tell us topics for any future Black Couch Igloo Cinema episodes. We'd love to read those too. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please like it. Like it even more, please favorite it. Like it even more, please share it. Subscribe to the channel for updated content. Also subscribe to our personal channels, other stuff there too. And yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next Black Couch Igloo Cinema or whatever. Peace.